Madam Speaker, let me begin by saying thank you to the people of Etobicoke North for once again putting their trust in me and giving me the privilege of serving them, and for fighting for what is important to them here in this place. Let me also take this opportunity to congratulate you, Madam Speaker, on your new role, as well as to congratulate all members of Parliament, as well as returning colleagues on their success. I look forward to working with colleagues and particularly on the issues that matter to Etobicoke North, strengthening the middle class, protecting the environment, and keeping our communities safe. Madam Speaker, I love serving our wonderful Etobicoke North community, and I love serving our families. Etobicoke is home. It's where I'm born and raised. I went to Dixon Grove Middle School, and I went to Kipling Collegiate, schools where many of our Etobicoke North students attend. And Etobicoke is where I have chosen to live my life and serve the people I care deeply about. Madam Speaker, Etobicoke North is proudly one of the most diverse communities in the country. Over half our population is first generation. Another third of the population is second generation. They, like my own family, who came from Scotland and the Ukraine, came to Canada to build a better life, and particularly a better life for their children. I want to thank our Etobicoke North families for teaching me their beautiful languages, cultures, and religions. And I want to thank them for including me in the celebrations, family celebrations, at our churches, gurdwaras, mosques, and mandirs. I also want to highlight some of the many organizations that do important work in our community. Albion Neighborhood Services, life-saving work at Ernestine's Women's Shelter, Rexdale Community Health Center, Rexdale Legal Clinic, Rexdale Women's Center, and Youth Without Shelter. And I would like to recognize the work of Royal Canadian Legion Branch 286 and 23 Division of the Toronto Police Service. Madam Speaker, the people of Etobicoke North work hard for their families. Many work 2 and 3 jobs, and many work 6 and even 7 days a week. They tell me that the middle-class tax cut our Liberal government introduced makes a real difference in their lives. And the Canada Child Benefit helps even more. In fact, the CCB is helping 25,000 children in our community. But our government also understands that there is more work to be done to make life more affordable for our families. Our very first order of business, therefore, is to lower taxes for the middle class and people working hard to join it. Starting in 2020, this change will put more money back in the pockets of Canadians by increasing the amount of money they earn before paying federal income tax. Once fully rolled out, nearly 20 million Canadians will benefit, saving a single person close to $300 a year in taxes. For a couple or family, including families led by a single parent, the savings would be even greater, close to $600 a year. Madam Speaker, the people of Etobicoke North and Canadians understand climate change is real, that is happening now, and it's the most pressing environmental issue we face. It is important to point out that in this election, a majority of Canadians voted for serious action on climate change. Our Liberal government has already put in place 50 important measures to tackle climate change. And while we're making progress, we know that there is much more work to do. We're working collaboratively with provinces and territories to take even stronger action to reduce pollution and invest in a cleaner future. We will plant 2 billion trees over the next 10 years, reach net zero emissions by 2050, and protect 25% of our land and oceans by 2025. Madam Speaker, I would like to acknowledge the tremendous advocacy of our Etobicoke North Youth Council. I'm fighting for climate change action and environmental action. And the last issue I would like to raise is the need for stronger gun laws. 23 Division of the Toronto Police Service serves Etobicoke North and is one of 17 divisions in the city of Toronto. Tragically, the area served by 23 Division has had the second highest number of shootings since 2004. I have been fighting for real action on guns and gangs since I began serving as the Member of Parliament for Etobicoke North. While in opposition, I spoke repeatedly to ministers and obtained funding to help our youth exit gangs. I brought grieving mothers to Ottawa to meet with members of Parliament from all parties and held a vigil on Parliament Hill for our children. I also brought all levels of government together in Etobicoke North to address the violence and brought together along with dozens of organizations so we could all take real steps to end the violence. Let me explain why. When I attend a meeting of 100 or so people in our community, it is common for 4 mothers to come up and to tell me that they are the parent of one of the young men that has been gunned down. These violent killings are one of the most devastating traumas parents can experience. They are left suffering emotionally and psychologically. Devastated families must be supported, and our communities must receive support in building resilience. Madam Speaker, grieving mothers and community elders say, quote, "These were the children who were supposed to bury us. No one asks about our pain because no one wants to know." Grieving mothers in our community have reached out to other bereaved mothers to establish groups such as Positive Change for mutual support, to take real action to stop the violence and to improve the lives of other youth. Positive Change says 50 sons, brothers, grandsons, friends lost. Together, let's stop the violence. Madam Speaker, our Liberal government has worked hard to keep illegal firearms off our streets by passing legislation that ensures better background checks and sensible license verification, best practices in record keeping, and safe transportation of firearms. But Madam Speaker, gun crime is on the rise. In Etobicoke North, the availability of guns and the prevalence of gangs are the key causes of violent crime. Elsewhere, and all too often, people are killed or injured because criminals have used military-style assault weapons. These guns are designed to inflict mass casualties and have no place in Canada. Our Etobicoke North community is tired of excuses and know that thoughts and prayers don't make our community any safer. Madam Speaker, as promised in our recent election, we will ban military-style assault rifles. For more than 4 decades, police chiefs in Canada have been advocating for restrictions on assault weapons. We have listened and we will act. We also work with provinces and territories to give municipalities the ability to further restrict or ban handguns. We will continue to fight gang-related violence by investing an additional $50 million a year for 5 years to help municipalities meet the needs of communities at risk. And we make sure that the Canada Border Services Agency and RCMP have the resources they need to detect and stop the flow of weapons at our borders. Madam Speaker, I have spoken at length about the violence that affects our community because I am always going to work to make our community safer. But I want to make it clear that I could not be prouder to come from our community, and I could not be prouder to serve our wonderful, hardworking families. I love to see our families in our schools, at their events, and in their homes. Our families make our community strong and our country better. Madam Speaker, thank you. I'd like to wish all my colleagues a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and best wishes for the new year. Thank you.